Hello, everyone. I pray that you are all doing well on this Wednesday. We are in the middle of our 6th week of social isolation and physical isolation and quarantine, and it's kind of hard to believe how quickly that time went by. Time can become a blur, and one day can run into the next when you're in the same place and really bored, or when you are constantly under stress and overwhelmed. It has been far too long already, and it isn't over yet, but we are going to make it. I know that there is going to be a great deal of pressure to get the economy back up and running. Certain industries, companies, and stores are opening back up already. There's additional stress on parents who hope that school might somehow start back, but we now know that they are canceling on-campus classes for the rest of the year. Some of you may be asking when we can worship together again. And some of you may be saying even when the church campus is open again, it will be a long time before you feel comfortable being in a large group. No matter what gets reopened, we know that we are not out of the woods just yet. We all need to continue to be vigilant when caring for our health. We need to make good decisions for ourselves and those around us to prevent another spike or escalation. This morning I was on a Zoom call with other ministers that are part of the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship of South Carolina, just like our church is. It was organized by our state coordinator, Jay Keevy, and everyone came with the same concern. What do we need to know and do in order to safely resume congregational gatherings, especially on our church campus? It has been so difficult for us to be apart from one another, especially on important celebrations of our faith like Easter. We haven't been able to hold funerals like we traditionally would. There has even been a baby dedication that has to be put off longer than we normally would like. We haven't been able to hold each other in times of celebration and in times of sorrow. Even when we come back together again, we know that things will be different, at least for a time. Jay had invited Tanya Staten, who's a lecturer with Clemson's Public Health Sciences Department, to share with us on the call. She reminded us that we haven't necessarily hit the peak just yet, and even when we do, it's going to take just as long to come down on the other side of the curve as it did to get to the top. And even when we feel like we can open up the campus again, it may still not be safe for small group gatherings at first. We may need to take extra precautions that ensure social distancing in the sanctuary. We may have to have opportunities for multiple worship services on a given Sunday. We may actually need to wear our face masks in worship. And some of you may have to make the hard choice of staying away for longer, even though you want to be with us. But no matter what, we have already proven that we can and we will find ways to be church for one another. We will adapt and innovate with each stage of this process. Your ministerial staff, your deacons, your administrative team are going to be constantly assessing our situation over the coming weeks and months to determine when we feel it's safe for us to meet in person again. We will be following the best information and recommendations made available to us by medical and health experts at the local, the state, and the federal levels. Every decision we make will have the health and well-being of anyone who would gather on our campus as the top priority. I wish I could tell you an exact date when we will be able to worship and study and fellowship together again. Unfortunately, at this point, that is impossible. But in the meantime, I am grateful for the way that you have responded and participated in all of the ways that we have stayed connected online and over the phone. I know I'm supposed to spend my time in a message like this encouraging you, but I want to simply say thank you this time. Thank you, because you are constantly encouraging me. You are encouraging me with the way you are refusing to allow this virus to disrupt who we are as a church. It may have disrupted our activities, but the heart of our church has not changed. You are staying true to who ARBC is called to be. You are finding ways to serve those around you. You are faithfully addressing the concerns of your community of faith as you are able, when you are able, where you are able. We are still building relationships based on the transformative power of Christ that cannot be hindered by walls. And many of us are engaged in worship in different ways. Some of us are even more engaged in worship than we have ever been. Your deacons are reaching out and offering comfort and care. Your administrative team is wisely addressing all of the challenges that are coming our way. Your ministerial staff has shown incredible ability to adapt to make sure we are the body of Christ we need to be in this moment. You should be proud to be part of this community of faith. I've never been prouder to be part of this community of faith. So I want to simply say thank you for the way you are encouraging me. Thank you for the way just watching you be the church you need to be is lifting me up. You have seen this as a moment for the church to be the church. You are living into that moment with all you have. You are loving God, self, and neighbor as Christ loves you like never before. So keep it up. The gospel passage for this coming Sunday is from Luke 24, where the risen Christ meets two of his followers on the road to Emmaus. Their hearts were broken because things had not worked out as they had hoped. And yet, when they were least expecting it, they encountered the risen Christ who opened their eyes and enabled them to see how God had been at work in the midst of the worst circumstance possible. ARBC, you are a testament to the fact that Christ is working in the worst of circumstances because Christ is working through you. You have eyes to see it in others who aren't part of our community of faith as well. There may be moments when you don't feel like it, but you are making it. And because Christ is working through you, you will make it through this crisis to the end. Until we are able to meet in person again, we want to continue to encourage one another. So we invite you to join us in offering messages of encouragement to the community. We are putting our monthly newsletter together, and we want to fill it with images and messages of hope, encouragement, resurrection, and love and God's peace. If you have an image of your family or something you've experienced that has brought you encouragement or that has lifted you up in a difficult time like this, send it to me or Bridget. Add a sentence or two about that image and a message of encouragement that you want to send to the congregation. We will fill our newsletter this month with encouragement and hope and God's love. This will be especially important for our oldest members who might not be able to stay as connected with us online as the rest of us are. If you have a message of encouragement you want one of us to share with the congregation, write it out in an email to us or send it to us in a Facebook message. We'll try to share it with the community in a message like this one. If you want to share a message of encouragement video like the ones we've been sharing, send it our way and we will try to get it to the congregation as well. Thank you for encouraging me by being who God called you to be as a church. Thank you for encouraging one another by the way you are living out Christ's love for the world even now. We will be together again. Until then, know that you are constantly in my prayers. As we might say today, you just keep doing you, ARBC. Keep being who you know you need to be. It will get us through. I love you. We'll talk again soon.